Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
All right, we are back. You said something, sorry. The Vital MX MotoXpod show is back, presented by Race Tech and Yamaha Motor USA. Just got back from Birmingham this weekend. It was a good time. Second year in Birmingham. We're going to talk about the stadium and the race as a whole. Pretty cool to see Nate Thrasher get a win, Chase Sexton back on the top box, and the 450 class, a Pierre Motor Group sweep, all Austrian brands. Pretty damn cool. It was a lot of fun. A lot of cool things happened this weekend. We'll try to get into a few of them. We're going to have on the show tonight RJ Hampshire from the Rockstar Husqvarna team. And then we're going to have Team Tedder KTM's Justin Hill on. Haven't had Justin on in a while. I think RJ was sometime towards the end of last year. Both those guys having pretty damn good seasons for themselves. So lots to get into, lots of fun to talk about. Before we start the show, get into all the details, let's introduce who's in studio. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Running the cameras, as always, Scotty Thompson. What's up, Scotty?
Oh, not much. Just another day. Glad we're back racing. Glad we're back. Enjoyed the week off, but glad to be back chatting with you guys.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to have a week off.
Mm-hmm. It is every once in a while.
It's nice to come Tuesday and go, hey, yeah, we're just going to do something with the family or whatever tonight. But yeah, it's definitely glad to be back in studio. Also in studio tonight, Chase Moore. What's up?
What's going on, man? After a couple weeks of amateur nationals, I'm glad to not be in the van at the track.
Yeah, you at Spring-a-Ding and Freestone shooting. I went and did some racing at DeSoto just to have some fun. Scotty, he doesn't ride anymore.
I rode not last weekend, but the week before.
Bike. That is true. You did borrow a bike.
I rode
in Renton Road.
I've got a little bit of money from tax return back, and I plan on doing
mine tomorrow.
Plan on getting back what I need to do so that I can start riding again.
Yeah,
let's go.
Nice. All right. Well, we're going to get into the Yamaha Motor USA Open Chat. Yamaha Motor USA has a reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's built over decades. The YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship-winning bikes and made them even better because the best doesn't rest. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com, or better yet, go to your local dealership. Check out all that Yamaha has to offer, from off-road to street, side-by-sides, watercraft. What else do they do? Pianos. That's not really the motorsport side, but support Yamaha.
Yeah, the logo is a piano tuning fork.
That is true.
Yep.
But, I mean, Yamaha Motorsport being our title sponsor, I don't think that division makes pianos, but go buy a piano anyway, right?
Yeah, it's Yamaha.
Sure.
Blue Crew. Yeah.
Speaking of Blue Crew, Cooper Webb getting a win in the third race of the Triple Crown, finishing 4th overall. Justin Cooper getting 6th. The boys had a good night. And then in the 250 East, Thrasher gets his first win of the season. Daxton Bennick had a really good night in 5th, and Maximus Volan getting a 6th. We're going to talk about Max here in a little bit too. But I want to start off this episode 348 with just a general discussion of Birmingham, and we'll kind of reevaluate Triple Crowns. During the day, sitting in the press box, this track looked like dog crap. It looked awful. It looked baked. It looked like it was going to be a terrible, terrible, terrible race. And it wasn't even a great race anyway, but I just thought this track is going to be one of the worst tracks I've ever seen. Dirtworks got the thing moist. The sun went down. It wasn't bad, but it still was probably the worst race of the season. Scotty, what say you? Or at least exciting races. Let's use that.
Exciting, no. The implications that it did to the championship.
Yep, both of them. That's going to be topic number 2. So you're correct.
All right, yeah. So that's what I was. But honestly, like, as a fan of the sport and a fan of the stories that are going on in this Supercross season, and as also being a fan of Chase, that's exactly what he needed.
How do you feel about that, Chase?
That's not
I'm pretty
Chase, that's
happy.
Garth.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seeing Chase go 1-1 and then ride smart, it's just it's like it's kind of funny to me. It was like Chase was like, "All right, here you go, everybody. I'm not going to go throw it, do what you think I'm going to do and throw it away. I'm going to take my second in this main, win the overall, and that's what we needed to see especially for this championship moving forward to get back on the title fight that we want."
Okay, Chase.
Yeah, it was the race. You said it wasn't that bad, but I mean, or it was bad. You said it was one of the worst.
It wasn't
ones.
exciting.
It wasn't terrible. There was some parts.
It was the least exciting race of the year for me.
Chase took out Anderson, dude. That's exciting.
I mean, there was some exciting points, but like, yeah, I get it. There wasn't a whole lot of passing. The track was kind of roached during qualifying, and I don't know. I heard that the ruts coming out of the start, like out of the gates, were some of the worst ones of the season too. But for what it looked like during qualifying and what it ended up being, it was two totally different tracks.
I don't know if you guys could tell watching on TV. You could see it if you knew it was there, and I want to ask both of our guests tonight, when they would come over the triple before they crossed over the start finish, like where they went by the mechanics row, they'd make that right, go over the hump on the inside, and then there was a curb built on the left-hand side, basically. And I don't think it started as curb, but it looked like a curb even on press day. And they would just hit this thing, and it would unsettle the bike. I don't understand why it was built that way. Maybe it was a berm to start with, but by the end of press, it was basically a curb.
There was kind of coming out of the sand under the bridge.
Yeah.
There was kind of one of those too, but they didn't hit it as hard. They just kind of stuck into it, but it turned into a curb too.
And this was my least favorite of the sand section so far.
Yeah, it was weird. That like it was what is like a 270-degree turn, basically.
yeah. It was.
I saw it on the track map. It was like,
we go.
Yeah, I saw it on the track map. I was like, that's a little different. I guess they're trying something, but it didn't really work.
And again, I'm sure there have been worse tracks. It just wasn't super, super exciting. A couple of the 90s actually worked pretty well.
It's a pretty small floor too, isn't it? Isn't it like?
Yeah,
isn't it kind of like Snapdragon
itself,
like a soccer stadium?
I think it's used for soccer and like a lower level college football. University of Alabama at Birmingham, I think.
Right.
But it's all bleachers. I don't think there's a single seat with a back to
that's
it.
That's how Snapdragon is.
It's a lower budget.
So that's one thing. I understand that logistically wise is more important, but it was weird to see that was the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I guess we should find out like how they decide what
I
rounds
think that
are
there's
going
just
to be a Triple Crown.
It's
I think it's just based
regionally. It's what markets they're trying to pull from, timing. I think.
Yeah, probably the lower the round they think in that region that's going to do the worst. They probably make the Triple Crown.
Maybe.
Try to draw more crowd.
Yeah,
that could be it. That might be wrong too.
Birmingham is not the nicest city.
It's not. No, I've been through there a bunch.
It's not a great stadium. There's not a lot around the stadium. Like if you want to go grab food real quick, it's not ideal. But then at the same time, I guess if Houston isn't, for whatever reason, we're not going to Houston right now. We're not going to Atlanta right now. It's a southeast venue.
I missed the Georgia Dome.
I wonder.
Never have to go there.
I
wonder if they got
it.
paid to go there.
I doubt they got paid there, but
it
I
was
bet
probably
they got a really good deal in the stadium. Yeah, that would be more my guess.
Well, you all mentioned the sand sections, and it made me think of like sand. I think the sand stuff should go back to a theme, not a
theme.
It's part of like a theme track, not as part of has to be in every track
every week.
Yeah, like if you're in Tampa, throw some sand in there. If you're in East Rutherford, New Jersey, why do we have to have, I mean, I guess New Jersey is not a good choice because that's a beach. But I don't know, maybe Minnesota. Why does Minnesota have a sand section?
Yeah, they should have an ice section.
Or Detroit or what. I know we don't even go to Minnesota
snow
this
section
year,
in Minnesota.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sand in Minnesota, though.
I think I would even have happy with half of the races have a sand section because like it's a guaranteed part of the track that you could do something else in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thoughts at MotoXpod@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts on the race if you want. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. That helps us out a ton. We need those clicks. But yeah, you mentioned Chase Sexton a minute ago and the Triple Crown performance, and I want to get into that because you also touched on championship, basically shakeups. Title shakeups is what I wrote down in my notes, right? Chase Sexton entered Birmingham, 15 down on Cooper Webb. He's now 8 down. That's a little bit of a shakeup. Cooper fell in the first turn, or the third or fourth turn of the first lap of the first race, and that hurt him a whole bunch, right? So then Sexton, like you say, goes 1-1. Cooper wins the last one. It changes the points up and makes it much more exciting in the title hopes. But I want to ask you guys this. That last race, when Cooper chased him down, Sexton made the little mistake. Cooper gets by. Chase makes a run at him for a second and then just settles in for a second. And he did say in the press conference, I asked him about it. He said, I took what I learned in Dallas. He talked about it in Lewis Phillips post-race and decided, hey, I got the overall. That's what I need to do. But I'm going to play the opposite side of the
Devil's advocate.
What if mentally a little bit, he's like, I don't know if I want to go after him. I don't know if I go after him, do I crash? He made the mistake to let Cooper get by. In the second race, when he passed Aaron Plessinger in the same place he passed Jason Anderson, he almost tucked the front, it looked like, or got a little cross-rutted. Like, what if there's a little bit of, if I go after him, I might crash? Like, what if there's a little bit in the back of his mind of, shit.
There could have been a little bit, but I think after where he's been mentally, after like Dallas and all that, he knew he had the overall. He was just like, let's just cruise home.
Yeah, I agree that he did do that, and that was the smart thing.
But it does stem from what you're saying. Like, he doesn't want to throw it away. Like, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what we've been wanting? Is that he gets into a situation where he has to exert himself more than he needs to, and he doesn't. He gets to that. He maybe has that thought, but he doesn't act on it, and he rides smart. Like, that's what we wanted.
Absolutely. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm just
wondering if it's there.
I'm not even wondering. I think what he says is he just played it smart is what he means. But I'm just kind of saying,
of course that thought's probably there.
Yeah, that's what that thought
Cooper
stems
Webb,
from.
mentally strong. He gets in riders' heads.
Yeah.
What if he's in Chase? Yeah. Could he be in Chase Sexton's head where Chase is like, ooh, if I go past him and I get out front, I'm going to crash. And if that's at all in the back of his mind, down the road, does that play a factor?
See, I look at it. I look at it more of like, does that, like yes, that thought's probably there, but that the answer is
good if it is.
I mean, just a thought's a thought. I mean, like, everybody thinks stuff. Like,
it's how many times you think about it.
It's how you let it affect you. Like, do I let this thought affect my actions? And it didn't. So I think that's.
I mean, it did affect his actions because he backed down and.
Well, in that way, yeah, but it didn't.
But it's
negatively
in a good way. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
If Cooper doesn't fall in the first one, you think we have the same winner? You think Sexton still wins the thing?
I think he still wins, but I don't think he gets I think Cooper gets second or third.
7-4.
But I mean,
it'd be close.
He didn't do great in the second one either.
Where he finished, right? Yeah. So if he went,
he wasn't great in the second one.
He got a fourth in the second one too.
I think Chase Sexton wins either way, and whether Chase Sexton has quote unquote figured out the problem or the issues or the whatever, we're only time will tell. I'm glad that we have a tighter points battle, but it happened a lot quicker than I expected it to.
I expected it to be a couple rounds.
I didn't
chipping
think
away at it.
Cooper would finish the season at all off the podium.
Yeah.
So a little surprised by that. All right, 250 East point shakeup. Tom Vial still leads it with no wins, but he went in. What was he down on? 1 point down on up on Anstey. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Max Anstey breaks his fibula. And so that title threat is now gone. We'll blame that on TJ for jinxing him. I feel really bad for Max, but
that sucks.
But RJ came in to Birmingham 12 down. He's now 10 down. Hammaker was 11 down. He's now 13 down. But I think RJ and Seth Hammaker are one of those guys is going to win this title. That's who I think is. I mean, Seth probably should have won the whole night. Mm-hmm. He was fantastic, minus his crash that took out half the field.
Yeah, I think that turn was super slimy, and then you get sun in your eyes.
Yeah, I heard
that sun looked miserable.
On one of the review shows, I don't even remember which one I heard it from, but it was like Hammaker's one bad piece of chicken away from leading this title.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Sure. They're making this thing interesting, and there are 5 races left in the East, and 2 are showdowns, which RJ's really good at showdowns. So obviously anything can happen, right? We don't know, but obviously we don't know. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Seth probably right now.
Really?
Yeah, I hate saying that with RJ coming on, but
I was about to say,
RJ.
I'm excited to have RJ on because I think this is like it's shaping up to.
Seth just looks so good right now.
Yeah, I think RJ, like Seth does look good, but he's had a rough time. RJ's on his way out of the class. He kind of wants to prove it to himself. I think RJ will like bring it down to the wire and end up getting it.
The question, Hammaker went 9-1-1.
I think the biggest if about it all does RJ have a RJ moment?
Right.
Is there a
there've been less of those.
Is there a second that turns into a 6th? Is there a crash or something that other than if that doesn't happen, then the
showdown's going to be 2 showdowns.
But you already said he does really good at those.
You could say the same thing about Hammaker though, because he's definitely had moments.
Well, that's why I'm saying is I think that creates a better odd for, not that I'm picking him, but for Vial. Like he's already got the lead. He's got a little bit of a cushion, and those guys
he's steady.
Are a little bit volatile. So I think that he's not going to. I mean, you very likely could see another championship one where they don't win a race.
It's all open air stadiums. I think
Vial gets a win.
It's all open air stadiums from here out. So we'll probably end up getting at least one mud race, which would be in Vial's.
For sure, but that's west.
Yeah, well, I know, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, Vial.
Sure,
yeah, Vial does good.
I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I already threw out a couple weeks ago. Justin Cooper stamped him winning Salt Lake City. I'm gonna put. I'm gonna give Hammaker. I think that same night I had stamped Max winning the title, but obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So we got to shift gears. I'm gonna go Hammaker right now.
I'd like to see him win one for sure.
Impressive.
Yeah, he has. That's a good take.
Speaking of impressive, Nate Thrasher looked fantastic. 3.32 for first overall, first win of the season. He has averaged 1 win every season, I think, except for his rookie season. I believe he got 2. But yeah, Nate is dealing with I think a thumb injury and been coming back and trying to get some strength back. And if you look at his results, they are improving. Do you guys think that he could get another podium, get another win? I hate saying could. Will he?
Okay.
Could is obvious.
Yeah, because you never know.
Sure. Yeah, so will he?
Yes.
Another podium?
Let's go podium first.
Yeah, I think he'll get another podium. I don't know about a win, but he'll get another podium.
I'm going to say he does not get another win, but I think getting this podium probably is a big confidence builder. And yeah, it was good seeing him up there and getting another win for Yamaha. So stoked on Thrasher. Super bummed on Anstie. Obviously, a couple other things. Triple Crown. I mentioned I want to get back into that. We're running low on time before we get RJ on. Triple Crown format. I've said all year I love it. I love it. I love it. I didn't like this one. It felt the day was so freaking long. When you're there working as a journalist or whatever, there's 0 time almost to go down. It felt like the day was never going to end. And I think that has a lot to do with because the racing wasn't that exciting to me. Yeah. And the track looked so shitty during the day that I was just like, eh.
It did seem long. I rewatched the race this morning, and I was like, dude, even scrolling through and not watching like the interviews because I'd already seen them the other night.
Yeah.
I was like, this thing's so long, but it's probably from a little bit of lack of excitement.
I mean, we got there, track walk was at 8:30, and then we left at 11:30 p.m.
That's crazy.
That's like, what? That's 15 hours? Yeah. 8:30 15 hours. It's just a long day. And it's still the same length of day, I guess, if you have a regular race, but there was no breaks where you can go down. It was constant between.
Yeah, there's no time between them.
SMX next, and just one qualifier practice after another. And the riders were the 450 riders were pretty open about not liking these Triple Crowns in the press conference.
Well, they're done with them for this year, so.
True.
They've never liked them, though.
Yeah.
It's cool to do something different, but I don't know. We could do something a little bit different. They never come down to the last race.
Right.
And if you do have a mistake, it doesn't really have that many implications on your season.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes it boring.
I want to give a couple highlights on my weekend, just real quick. So Benny Bloss, best finish of the year with the 10th. I'm going to take credit for that. I went by the beta truck, talked to him, or actually on press day. I think it was on press day. Anyway, I talked to him at some point. I said, hey, got some advice for you for the weekend. He's like, all right. I said, first things first, don't fall 3 times in the same corner in Birmingham like you did last year. He's like, that
was
okay.
rough.
I said, second thing, finish ahead of Mitchell Oldenburg. And he's like, it's pretty good advice. He did both those things, got his best finish. What say you?
I mean, you're the
the proof is in the pudding.
He is the dark side to your Steve, I would say.
The big story that Lewis Phillips doesn't like at all, the Shaw Daddy Shaw, Lane Shaw's name on his AMA. Did you guys see all that?
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Okay. So
I heard something about it, but I didn't know exactly.
Watching practice, watching qualifying, there's this name on there on the timing and scoring. Shaw Daddy Shaw. It's like that. It's Lane. It's obvious. It's his number. It's like what the hell. So when I did have a quick break, I ran down real quick and I went and saw Kay Johnson, a few other guys, and I saw Lane. It's like, what is that? And he goes, dude, I was in the hospital recovering and I was high on the pain meds. And my mom's like, go ahead and fill out your AMA stuff. And I saw a name and I thought they wanted a nickname. So I put Shaw Daddy, but I was messed up. And then they took it and they used it.
I can't believe they used it. That's awesome.
Just shows that they're
Nobody's
not
paying attention.
watching that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then JT talked about it. JT, I think, talked about it supposedly.
So it was like on like Race Day Live?
They said
it was
something
on Race Day Live. And they changed it before the night program. But JT mentioned it during the night program for what I was told. So and then a couple other highlights. Adam Wheeler from On Track was there. He does the MXGP podcast with Lewis, and I got to hang out with him, sit kind of next to him most of the day and visit with him. Super great guy. I really enjoyed that. Kellen Brower was there, so shout out to Kellen. I always enjoy but I don't get to hang out with Adam very often. And then I got to meet Mikhail Harrop from Triumph Racing, 5th in MX2 last year. So that was really cool. Just a couple little highlights. Just wanted to give those guys a shout out, talk about my weekend. Let's quickly talk about Maximus Volan. What do you, when you think of his season, don't have all the results right in front of us, but do you think it's been any positives, any negative? It's been negative. What do you think of as a whole, Chase?
I think it's been positive considering the clutch issues, the first 2 rounds. And I mean, kind of knowing behind the scenes what all went on and what he dealt with, it's good as you can expect or hope,
Yeah.
Like I'd say it's positive for sure. And I think running the handbrake has something to do with the clutch. Like maybe it was engaging the clutch somewhat, and that was
changed some components. And
yeah.
So I did like a 8 or 10 minute interview with him that'll be coming out of Vital probably next week. But Scotty, before I let you answer that, I sat and talked to him, and last week I think it was, or maybe the last show, I said that he's kind of my disappointment because I expect so much out of his ability, right? That I expect more out of him, and I told him that I had said that, and when I look at his results and how he rode in Birmingham with going down a couple times, it's actually really impressive.
Yeah, that last one.
I would say that to kind of blend both y'all's points together, 2 or 3 years ago, I would say yes, this is not not reaching the potential of the expectations I had of you, based on the body of work that we've seen and what the things that he has to deal with, and like Chase mentioned, the handbrake and everything. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, and I think that it's probably honestly a little parts of it are a little bit better than I expected. Parts of it are a little worse. Like there's just been some inconsistencies and some DNS and stuff that have really like taken him out of the points. But I think some of
his fault. The DNS.
No, it's not. But there's a lot of individual moments and rides in there that I think you can say we're getting somewhere. Yeah.
So 4.610 on the weekend for 6th overall, and went down.
Yeah, the last one he
went down. And it caused, that's kind of where RJ had.
Yeah, he was the one that went down.
I think that somebody else went down first. Mumford.
Yeah, somebody ran into him.
Down, and then Max went down, and RJ kind of ran in the back of him. But so I think he really rode well. And looking at how he has to use that handbrake and trying to figure out using it at the same time and issues he told me he was having with it. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, I'm going to flop my biggest disappointment type thing last show and say I'm actually really impressed. And it's nice to see that there are improvements coming. And maybe I don't know that he'll ever win a race, right? I don't know. I don't know if he has that with the issues he's having, but he can definitely compete for podiums and maybe a win, right? So, yeah, I was pretty happy to see that. That was I want to talk about Austin Faulkner the same way in a minute, but he's going to be the X Brand Forum check-in. So yeah, we also need to get into the Pro X fantasy discussion. We have a winner for the FXR casual wear.
It's not me.
Let's actually do that real quick. I think we have enough time before we get RJ on. So let me find this Pro X read real quick. Pro X is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro, Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They've been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets. Pro X aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find Pro X at your local dealer or visit pro-x.com and search for parts for your bike. Still running those Pro X chains and sprockets on the KTM, doing me well. Okay, first things first, the winner of the FXR Casual giveaway. What we asked you guys to do at the last show was sign up for the Vital MX fantasy game, join the MotoXpod League, get involved, send me your screen names, and after this weekend, I went and checked everybody that emailed me their screen names and saw what their points were. So our winner is Shane Borden with 140 points. Pretty damn good. I should have readjusted my team after the Triple Crown. All my guys were in, but you could have readjusted and been like, oh, these guys are going to score some points and get some more of the cheaper guys, maybe drop some of the higher guys. And I think that's what he had 15 guys on his team.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
15 dudes. And yeah, 140 points. So he crushed it. So Shane Borden, you're going to get a hat and t-shirt from FXR. I sent you an email today. I got 108 points. My team was Malcolm Stewart, Justin Hill, Mitchell Oldenburg, Benny Bloss, Colt Nichols, Christian Craig, Seth Hamaker, Carson Mumford, Gage Linville, and Henry Miller. And I am 156th overall in the entire game. Smooth Wakey won the MotoXpod game with 149. So Shane Borden wasn't very far off that. What'd you get?
I was just under the average with 102.
Just under the average, just like other things. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're not wrong, but
That's what I heard.
yeah. I'm not going to make that joke. I had Cooper Webb, Ken Roxon, Jason Anderson. I put Chiz on there. I don't know why I really put Chiz on there.
Because Chiz is Chiz.
Yeah,
worth
that's why I put him on there, I guess, but I don't know why I expected any more. Vial, Hymas, and Mumford. And I hate this game.
If you guys are not playing the Vital MX fantasy game, please go sign up. It's free. It's easy. You can get in the MotoXpod League, and we could do more contests like this later on.
You keep saying it's easy, but
I mean, it's easy to play. It's not easy to do well
I
necessarily.
mean, you can pick your team very fast if you need
Damn
to.
it. And Gage Linville, every time I pick you, man, every time I pick you, you have a bad race. And he got collected by Hamaker in the first one.
yeah.
And then I think he went down
He went down in the that.
But
Yeah.
Dude, Gage was running up front there in that first lap, and look,
Dude,
it wasn't even a full lap, but he was certainly hanging with Seth and the other guys that were up there at least for a moment. So,
Dude, Hardy
Munoz is
up
good
there
too.
for a minute. Where did he go? He got 9th, 7, 11, 8 for 9th overall. He was in 3rd for like a couple laps.
Yeah. No, it's been really cool. It's a lot of fun to play, so we would love for you guys to sign up and play with us. Get involved with the game. So, waiting on RJ Hampshire to answer. While we're waiting on RJ, Christian Craig? How do we feel about Christian Craig's performance? Coming back, first race back, 11, 15, 13 for 12th overall.
That's about what I
I
expected.
think that's what we needed out of him. It's what he needed, steady. that's I figured 10 to 12. I think we said 2 weeks ago on the show, 10 to 13. But hey, we got a first guest on, so let's get to him real quick. He's going to be brought to you by Race Tech, which is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company. They have over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. Hit up racetech.com, find your local service center, get to know your local service tech. He's probably at your track when you're riding. If you need your suspension serviced or revalved, they can help you out tonight. Race Tech brings us from the Rockstar Husqvarna factory racing team, RJ Hampshire. What's up, RJ? All right, we got no audio again. Sweet. Let's try this. All right, I'm going to call you back. Guys, talk about something.
Oh, it's doing it was coming out over here.
Yeah, because I switched it over to the Mac. I don't know why it worked when I called you. Hey, let's... it was his voicemail. That's why.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Didn't answer.
Oh, he didn't answer.
That's why. It was his voicemail. Because that was what you heard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It didn't sound like RJ.
Hang on.
Great radio.
Yeah. We could have kept talking.
Hello.
Hey, you there, RJ?
Yep. Yeah,
sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties.
Oh, no worries.
How we doing, man? How we feeling today? Recovered from Birmingham. Got a weekend off. How you feeling?
Yeah, we're good. Are we recording right now?
Yeah, we're live, man.
All good?
Yeah.
Okay. All good, honestly. I mean, I had Birmingham, kind of crazy. I flew home Sunday from there, and then I flew 6 a.m. out to LA yesterday for had to go out and visit the Rockstar office. Turned right around at 4 p.m. and flew back home to Orlando last night.
Yikes.
Yeah, so long couple days. But yeah, now we're home, just kind of hanging out for the night.
Are you riding much this week, or are you kind of getting a day to recover from the travel?
Yeah, I mean, the original plan was to ride today.
Yeah.
But dude, I didn't get home till 1:30 in the morning. So yeah, Alden kind of gave me a break on that, and honestly, I needed it a bit from the weekend and my wrist and stuff. So we're taking off today, and then I'll ride probably Thursday, Friday a bit.
Well, let's get into Birmingham real quick. 1-2-5 for second overall. Good results. I know you wanted that win, and it was right there, that start in the third race. I think it was, what did we say it was? Max Boland.
I think it was Mumford
went down and kind of held you up. But yeah, I think overall a great day you got to be happy with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it started out a lot better than the way it ended. I mean, I felt so dang good on the bike in practice. Like, anytime I wasn't on the top, I felt like I could kept, going to the top. Like every time that I got past, I responded with the time. So like I felt like I could go as fast as I needed to go. And then Seth literally we both were on the final lap at the same time.
Yeah.
And dude, I went to the top, and literally 5 seconds later, he got me by not even a tenth, I think it was. So yeah, I felt awesome in there. And then I show up for the night show, and man, I felt flat. Like I haven't felt like that in a night show in years. But just didn't really have that spark that I had for the whole day. And I won the first one, but dude, you could tell on the podium I was a bit kind of frustrated about it, just because I didn't feel like I could ride. Like anytime I tried to push, I'd make a mistake. Whatever, try to put it behind us. Second one, got second, but I didn't really have anything for Seth. Like I just kind of rode where I was, and that was it. And then, everybody kind of seen what happened third one. It's so tough to get 3 starts in a row like that.
Yeah.
And that's all I needed was I'd say even a top 10 start, and I still got that overall, but that's why we race dirt bikes. Anything happens.
Yeah, it's funny, those two things you just commented on, I literally have in my notes. I have, you said not lighting the world on fire, and in the press conference you said the same thing, didn't have the spark, and I noted watching the race back that you looked pissed off at all the all the podiums, and so you kind of answered that, but what do you think it was that was off? Was it just your body just didn't feel right, or the bike, or kind of a mixture of both?
No, man, it was all me. Like so I had that practice crash in Indy.
Yeah.
Dude, I pinched a nerve so bad at my back. So I struggled with that. I mean, for literally the 2 weeks leading up to, Alabama. Mm-hmm. But I kind of felt like I was in a good spot where it really wasn't going to bug me. Well, like I think I was compensating so much for my back that I was putting almost too much pressure and like strength on my wrist. So it was like kind of back and forth on it. And yeah, I don't understand where it really came from, because I didn't have the feeling that, you know, I had in the night show in practice. Like, dude, I couldn't get off the seat. Like, I felt like I was stuck on the seat in so many of those corners in the night show. So it's like I couldn't really pull myself up. And then, like, I'm not the most technical rider out there as it is. So you can tell whenever, like, I'm, you know, can't do what I want to do. So then anytime, like, you try to exaggerate, like I tried to over-exaggerate what I wanted to do, like get over the front of the bike more, and then I would make a mistake or I'd lose the front or something like that. So, yeah, I was just struggling. Like, dude, all those left-handers, like, I couldn't stand up. Like, I was stuck on the seat going off the singles. Honestly, I was hitting the whoops really good for most of the day. And then they kind of went away a bit there in the night show. But still, yeah, I struggled doing what I wanted to do. Like, I couldn't get to it. And it was all me. Like, it was all physical side of it.
Yeah, maybe you just needed another rest. Hopefully you're not getting sick or something, you know, because, yeah, you definitely didn't look happy, so that all adds up now.
Yeah, and I thought it was more my back, honestly, on Saturday.
Okay.
But then Sunday I woke up and it wasn't, like, my back wasn't near as bad as what I expected. It was all my wrist. So then, like, right away I'm like, okay, maybe, like, that's what it was. Like, I didn't have the strength to really pull myself up, or, you know, didn't have the strength to move around like I wanted to. Or, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want it to sound like pissed off in those interviews, but also, like, you have to understand, dude, I was so like, what is going on? Like, this doesn't happen to me. Like, I can go as fast as I need to go, or feel like I can, you know, keep pushing. So yeah, I don't know. I maybe I should have acted differently, and the third one might have played out more my way. But overall, I mean, we still walked away with a second and gained some points on the championship.
Yeah, I don't think that you should. I like the fact that you acted how you felt. That's good. You didn't fake it. I mean, you didn't really open up about it in the moment, but at least it brought us to here. So we kind of got to the bottom of it. So I dig that. The starts, you mentioned 3 good starts being very difficult, and I put in my notes that third gate drop. Are you thinking about that on the gate? Like, I got to get out the gate. Well, this is important, and maybe it kind of messed with you. Was it a little bit too much pressure?
No, it wasn't pressure at all. And you would think I wouldn't make this mistake and do what I did. But all day I started gate 5 from the box.
Yeah.
5 to the left. From the practice start, I hole shotted. The first main event, I hole shot. Second main event, I go second. You know, crushing my starts from gate 5 all night long. Well, there's a massive rock that fell kind of in it a little bit, so it wasn't going out straight anymore. And dude, I second guessed it and didn't go gate 5. That main event 3 went gate 6, and sure enough, I think it was Mumford that went, you know, gate 5 right next to me. And yeah, he gets to jump on me just a little bit, and then all mayhem down there in the first corner. So it wasn't like pressure thinking about it. It was, should have stuck with what I was working, and I didn't. Yeah, it's 3 starts, all the best guys of the night. Like, it's pretty much 3 main events.
Sure. Yeah.
All going into there. Like, dude, it's so hard to get, you know, 3 good ones like that. And especially like dodging pileups and whatever else that happened. So you want to be in front of those and put yourself in a bad position like I did, and you're going to get stuck in them.
Yeah, speaking of pileups, the first race of the night, you did dodge the big pileup. Hammaker took out half the field. Nice little gap. But there at the end, Tom was catching you. I think lappers caused a lot of that. But were you getting a little nervous there? He made a run on you. You kind of made a little mistake. I think you got a little sideways, maybe lost traction. I feel like your heart rate might have spiked for just a moment.
No, I mean, I seen him the whole time. I wasn't, you know, too worried about it because of how slick the track was. Like, I was taking it a lot easier than I felt like anyone behind me was, because I'm the first guy that sees all this. So, you know, I'm tiptoeing through my corners, and honestly, it was the sand that was so tough to get through. I felt like he was just crushing me there, because like I'm the first guy that goes through, so you don't really know where the lines are, and didn't really have that strength to save it if my front tire starts going over that, you know, little berm that there was on that inside. And then, yeah, the lap riders, like, I thought, you know, 2 to go, I probably had 2 or 3 seconds, and then that went away right away with one guy not getting out of the way. And then he did kind of throw it in there before the left-hander on-off. But there was no room. Like I protected it, so I kind of knew he was there and knew what he might try to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I wasn't too worried about it.
RJ, with the way that you mentioned how the race went, with the not feeling your best, the thing that came to mind was the age-old saying of you win your championship on your bad days. Does it kind of feel that way? And now that you're 10 points in, a couple weeks ago you were 20 plus down and asked if you were still in this thing, and you're like, oh yeah, and now you really are. How does kind of all that feel, and getting a good result on a night that you didn't feel your best?
Yeah, it was more just kind of like taking what the night gives me, and it takes so long to learn that. And I've made so many mistakes over the years where on a night that I don't feel great, I'm still going to try to send it and go for a win, which I could have done on that third main event. Like my pit board said, try to get 34, which was Barnett at the time. And if I would have gotten Barnett, I would have had the overall. But I tried to go and I couldn't. So right there, my mind just went to, try to get the best amount of points I can on the night. And I knew where Tom was. And I knew I still had him in the overall. So just that mindset of like, okay, we have a bigger picture right now. And yeah, you can go back all the way to the interviews after Tampa. I never went away from still believing that I can win a championship. Like someone asked me that, leading into Detroit, like, yeah, championship hopes are gone. I'm just like, dude, we're lining up for round 2. We still got 9 more of these things. Like did you not see what happened last year? Like I'm the last guy that's going to lose belief in this. And I knew I would get better and get stronger throughout, each round. Like if you guys would have seen what I was doing 2 weeks before round 1, you would have said, there's no way we're halfway through this thing and I'm only 10 points back.
Right.
So yeah, I still feel like, man, I'm getting better each week. My bike's getting better. Like we finally got a setting for me. It was leading up to Daytona. And then, we're making another change this week, just trying to make my bike a bit better. And that alone helps my riding, helps me have that intensity back and being able to push and kind of do whatever I need to do.
Yeah. Since you brought up settings, what have been some of the big settings? I know early in the season you said you set up to jump whoops. Has that changed? Have you changed drastically your bike settings from the first round of East Coast to now?
Yeah. Well, the setting that I first got was just what everybody else was on because I didn't have an off season.
Right.
So they gave me what everybody else was on, which I think was like Juju and, Ryder or whatever on the West Coast. And then I still had to soften my forks up some because of how much impact was on my wrist. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I could not blitz whoops until a week and a half before Tampa.
Yeah.
Like, it was that bad. So, of course, your bike's going to be a lot softer than, what it needs to be to ride at that level and have that speed. And, yeah, sure enough, Tampa, all I did was go a little bit long on that triple, and my forks were soft as crap and, compressed. And then, I had no strength to save it. And worst case, I get stuck in a damn tough lock. But yeah, and then Detroit, I just kind of rode around and was happy enough to get a podium and kind of get things going. And then my team came to Florida with me and tested that week right after Detroit. And man, it's been such a difference since then. Like I actually can push and, have that intensity and can hit whoops decent again. Cause that's what I couldn't do. I felt like if you look back on the, segment times throughout the whole day, in Alabama, like I'm about 90% sure I was the fastest guy every practice out in the whoops. So that shows that at least I kind of got that feeling back.
Yeah, that's good because that's definitely one of your high points. And you're right. You can see the aggressions back and pushing through and all that. I want to go back to the wrist for just a minute. I think I called you a while back for something I'm working on about wrist braces, and you were wearing wrist braces for a little bit after your injury and took them off. Have you, after this weekend, is there any consideration of putting them back on just so that you do have some more strength in them, or support, not necessarily strength, but support?
No, not really.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of the Mobius wrist brace. Like I think it's awesome if you're having a ligament damage or whatever it is. But for myself, because I did my right wrist in 2021.
Yep.
And tore ligaments and everything, and I couldn't ride whenever I got back on the bike without my, Mobius brace. It's just like, for me, I was able to get my strength back by riding without it, because your body almost like teaches yourself or relies on that brace if you keep wearing it and practicing with it. And I want to get that strength back naturally. Like, I don't want to have to fully rely on that brace. So that's what I did this time. I came back on, I got back on the bike, and, I did ride with it for the first couple of days. But honestly, it was hurting my wrist more than anything, because like, I don't have ligament damage right now or anything like that. It's literally just a bone, and my bone's not healed. So any type of pressure or anything weird on it was just causing, more aches and whatever else. And what I found out that works best is just having Dr. G tape that thing up and run it and hold on.
RJ Hampshire tonight, brought to you by Race Tech.
Hey, RJ, you kind of talked about it on the podium at Daytona with your dad and all that, but was that the most meaningful race to you, and was that like kind of the one that you would always wanted to win growing up?
Yeah, man, for sure. And it's one that I've never even podiumed at. Like, I think I've won 4 or 5 different heat races there, and even in Tampa, like, dude, I've yet to have a podium in my home state, and raced there a lot over the years. And for it to be the only Supercross that I've really went to as a kid, man, it was special. And like, you see all the highlights and stuff after you leave Daytona, if you're getting, the winners doing the burnouts and the podium celebrations and crap, and you're like, man, like, that's something you want. It's so different than all the other rounds, and it's massive. And then just to have my family there, and the jersey with my dad and stuff, man, it was a huge night, special night, and really to kind of get my championship run kind of back into it again. It was important for me to go out there and win and kind of prove a point that, I'm definitely going to make a run at this thing.
Yeah. And I honestly, we were just talking before you came on about championship favorites. And I think you and Seth have a legitimate shot at this for sure. 10 points. I think he's, I don't remember 12. What did we say? 12 or 13? So, and both you guys are, it's fine. Both you guys are super strong right now. And with 5 rounds left, 2 showdowns, anything can happen. And you're statistically very good at showdowns.
Yeah, dude, those showdowns are massive. Like, that's where it's all going to come down to. Even coming into Boston next weekend, like, I definitely feel like I'll have better speed and honestly more confidence than what I had this weekend. So yeah, I want to go there and win, but also I just leave there with a, be on the podium. Show up to Philly. I'll have a full custom kit there with Fly, which will be sick, that I'm stoked on.
Okay.
And just have good vibes, good feelings going in there. And man, a win there would be massive. I mean, you've seen with Seth, just that, how he won, the East-West Showdown. Now he's right back in it. So Philly will be a huge one. So yeah, I mean, you guys seen with Nashville last year, I came in 15 points down and left with the red plate.
Right.
With 2 rounds to go after that. Massive swings on these, East-West showdowns.
Yeah, it can happen really quick.
Oh yeah.
Scotty.
Oh,
Did you say you had one?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you did, Chase. Sorry. I swear you shook your head yes at me.
My bad. So you were supposed to do a couple races on the 450, and then plans obviously changed. I was curious if you had done any kind of testing on the 450, even that you're not going to race it.
My 450 just showed up today, so I'll spend my first day on outdoors Friday and get this thing going. I'm trying not to get too excited about it, because I was so looking forward to that and off season and the 5-6 weeks or whatever I had off. That's all I cared about. I didn't even care about going racing Supercross 250 and going for a championship. Like, dude, I was like, let's go racing outdoors, get me on this 450. And dude, you just get humbled so fast, or like, not even humbled, but you feel like you've got the right plan and you want it to go one way, and that's the best way and the right way. And then you're just reminded so quick that, like, man, there's a bigger plan, and here's what you're paid to do. So you might want to take this serious. before you go, overstepping your boundaries and jump into something that, they were lucky enough to give you an opportunity to go do. Because originally a 450 wasn't in my contract.
Right.
Like this year I was supposed to be on a 250 all year, even through, SMX. And, just so happened that my deal with winning the championship last year, I just went to the bosses and told them what I wanted to do. And they supported it. Well, they supported it with me trying to defend my 250 championship. So yeah, I had big plans on spending a lot of time on my 450 on Supercross,
Right.
Off season. And, first day back on the bike, I can't even ride because my wrist hurts so bad. Go back in for surgery. And, I haven't seen a 450 since that day that I was out there and had a Supercross 450 built, and right back into the shop after that. So my bike just showed up here this week, and I'll get going on it, but still trying to focus on this, task at hand first.
Yeah, obviously that's the priority. And I want to ask you a question. Lewis Phillips, who works with me, was asking this of a lot of riders on press day, and I don't think he had a chance to ask you this weekend. I do believe you mentioned this on Pulp the last time you were on, but your contract, I believe, is up this year, but you said, if I'm not mistaken, you're back next year. So have you signed a contract for 26 going forward? Can you say?
Yeah, no, I'll be with Husqvarna next year. I see a bunch of crap going around too, like, Husqvarna is going to be gone and everything else. And I mean, dude, we just had 5 Austrian bikes on the podium this weekend out of 6. I don't see any team really going anywhere. There might be movement or, a different amount of riders maybe on Husky than there is on Gas, or might all just be on one brand. I don't know the logistics of it all.
Yeah.
I don't really think anyone does yet. But yeah, I'll be with the whole Austrian group for 26.
Dude, that's good to hear. That's a weight off the shoulders.
So y'all are telling me that people spread misinformation on social media. I just want to make sure I'm watching out.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I seen someone sent
crazy,
me a dang.
right?
Yeah, someone sent me another podcast talking today about, what me and Malcolm are doing next year and whatever else. And I mean, I know Malcolm doesn't want to go anywhere else from where he is right now also. So I don't really see, and I mean, anybody can talk and say whatever, but I mean, dude, we've got such a good group, a good team. He's having the best year of his career. I don't see him going anywhere either.
Yeah, I think Lewis and ML on the post-race show that Vital does, they talked about it, but I think that's kind of what they said. They feel like Malcolm will stay at Husky and you would stay at Husky. I think most of us think if anything does go away, it could be gas, but nobody really knows like you say, nobody really knows what's going on. RJ, we got to have a job to do, man. We got to talk about something.
Yeah.
It's either that or we talk about Hayden Deegan and getting arrested. I don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah. No, me neither.
It's, to play off of that a little bit, RJ, it's funny, you're raising a few kids and you've been around this sport for a while, then you're another person in your class is doing stuff like that. It's crazy the spectrum that you guys have. And just talk, you mentioned earlier about how you've learned a lot from, past experiences, and that's why you're able to take those wins when you can. What is it like to have that experience over these past few years and apply that to this championship?
Yeah, it's crazy just to look back on, my career, because honestly, man, seven years of it, I just felt like I was kind of stagnant. Like I didn't really have much improvement. Like, I had races here and there that were great, and then, just didn't really have that much success as what I've had the last, 3 years or so. And the fans that show up on the weekends and are at our rig, and just the following that we've had the last 2 years is insane. And like, I'm not the one that's going to go target all the little, kids doing crazy things or whatever else. Like, I mean, I'm a family, I'm a family guy. I have 2 little girls that, go to the races. Like I'd rather fly dang Spirit on the weekends just to have my, full family there. Just different ways to look at it and experience it. Like I said, like, man, there's 5 or 6 years of going racing where, it goes by so fast, and you just wish things could have been done differently, or you treated the race weekends differently, or, treated the weeks differently. Like, you didn't have one bad result carry your week and make it all miserable. And, I don't know, just treat different people differently just because of your race results. And then you go out the next weekend and you have another bad result, and it just keeps beating you down. And like, that stuff's tough to deal with, like, very tough. And you see it with a bunch of guys. I mean, even the guys at the top, like, I mean, I'm not even going to mention him, but he had about 4 or 5 races in a row there where you could just tell each weekend he was getting beat down more and more, and couldn't pull himself out of it. All it took was a weekend off, and then, he went out there this weekend and crushes it. It's hard to learn how to separate that weekend, highs or lows from actual real life during the week.
Yep.
And then kind of reset and go racing again on the weekend.
Yeah, I've discussed this before with riders and stuff, is that the fans and us in the media sometimes forget that you guys are human beings, right? If I have an argument with my girlfriend one night, the next day at work, I'm so zoned out and focused on that I can't really, it's hard to perform. You guys are athletes at the highest level, so but things affect you just like any other human, and we forget that sometimes.
Oh, I mean, it's so easy to, and like a lot of the riders portray that it's so perfect, and they fake it and whatever else, and that, like, I can watch like, honestly, I don't watch interviews because it honestly, it bugs me so bad just because I know them personally, and it's like, just, I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way, and that's something that I've kind of stuck through my whole career. It's like, you're gonna get the real RJ every time, whether it's bad or good. I mean, I'm the same dude whether you're with me on a Saturday night at the races or Tuesday here at the practice track. That's just something I've always stayed true to throughout my long 250 career so far.
Yeah, RJ, we appreciate how real you've been. I've met you in the pits before, and it's you're very that way. And I was just thinking, we were talking about the beginning of your career and stuff, and it seems just like yesterday that we were watching you fly into the bleachers at Monster Cup when All Stars. Like, it's it's crazy where we've come from, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's so nuts too. And like, was just talking with people out at the Rockstar thing that I went to yesterday, and they were kind of reliving some of the moments of my careers and stuff. And it just, like, man, it feels like yesterday that I just raced the USGP and the WW, like, and it's probably been, what, 5 or 6 years, almost 7 years now, I think, since I went 1-1 there. Yeah. And man, yeah, it's nuts. And like, now it's like I'm starting a whole new chapter though. Once the Supercross, 250 championship's over, and then it's like I'm restarting, but I'm restarting as a 29-year-old, dude that's already almost had a full career of racing dirt bikes.
Yeah. Yeah. RJ, what do fans bring up the most when you talk to them in the pits and stuff?
I mean, honestly, recently it's just been all about my family. Like my little girls and, what we're doing at home. Cause we kind of, this year made a big kind of move and started what's going to happen kind of after dirt bikes. Like, I bought some property and, getting like kind of like a farm going over in Brooksville, kind of close to my hometown. And I post a lot about that, like on my social media and stuff. So people always bring that up. And then, of course, everybody's seen what happened with my dad over, off season. So a lot of people bring up that and just memories of, them as kids or, racing each other. And it relates to a lot of people, a lot more than what I kind of expected. Mm-hmm. Like, the feedback I got from that, was massive, just cause like you don't hear about, guys at this level even talking about that or even having to go through it. And what, happened this off season, like, dude, to start the year off, I was at the highest of highs, won a championship, surgery, find out I come back, find out I'm going to have another surgery, redo it all. A week later, my dad passes, unexpectedly, and don't really know kind of yet on Supercross, really. Like, at this point, I wasn't even had a thought of riding yet, and we're in mid-December. So just, dude, crazy. And like, I didn't want to necessarily like throw it all out there, but I still was able to kind of talk about it. And like you said, like we're real people dealing with real things, and just we go racing on the weekends, and that's our job. But also, like you said, like it's real life, man. It's tough to deal with sometimes, but you got to kind of put it behind you, and I don't know, use it as motivation.
Well, I think we appreciate that. We appreciate you being real with us and letting your emotions shine and letting us into your life a little bit. So I appreciate you coming on here, man. You always say yes when you can, and it means a lot to us. So thank you for giving us some of your time tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys. I definitely owed you one.
No, it's all good, man. It wasn't your fault at all. So we'll reconvene again around outdoors or something.
Yep, sounds good. Appreciate
all right,
it,
RJ.
guys.
Take care. See ya.
See ya.
RJ Hampshire tonight, brought to you by Race Tech.
I was gonna blow you out and ask him what to ask you who he picked out of you and him.
Yeah,
him and
sorry,
Hammaker.
too, also.
Yeah, I was about to. It just didn't really come up.
Well,
But
no, I
about
did
to.
because I said we were just talking about it. And I thought you might.
I should have.
I was about to do it on my own.
I thought about it, but
I almost
I'll
did.
let you make it.
But we were, trying to be more professional and everything. So
Yeah, I wasn't going to do it on my own. But yeah, if you had said it, I'd been like, man.
No, I like RJ though. I didn't want to stir it up.
No, I do too. He's always super welcoming.
He is right though. Like for those people that haven't had a chance to go to the pits and meet him, like he gives you exactly what he is, like all the time. Like when the first time I met him was with you in Arlington at and it was just it was kind of like a dead moment. He was getting like stretched out, like he was with his
I know what you mean.
easy, bro.
Yeah.
Like he was doing stretches with his stretch guy or whatever he's called.
Dr. G.
Was it Dr. G that was doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. And his family was running around chilling, and he was so casual with you. It was cool to see. He's like he said, that's exactly who he is.
All right, time for the X Brand forum check-in. And you guys know that X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, supercross, motocross, and enduro riders all over the world. Visit EKSbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X Brand, distributed through WPS. Tonight, the X Brand forum check-in is titled, Put a Forkner in It. What do you think it's about, guys? Any ideas? Any thoughts?
Yeah,
No, I
got
don't.
an
I
idea.
couldn't think of it.
If there was like a panic button right here.
All right.
It's that one.
Trickamoto posted on the Vital Forum, man, it's not good. Legendary Speed has left the building, and that's expected. You can only come back so many times and have so many injuries without losing that raw speed. Battling with Henry Miller in the heat, lapped rider in the main, not good. What a warrior, though. This is pretty hard to watch. A couple of guys, I agree. How many years to try and sign him for? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I wanted to just basically get into Austin Forkner a little bit and his results and riding so far this season. What were you going to say?
I don't think that it's like, I don't think we're throwing the towel in here. Yes, this season hasn't gone quite as well as it could have been, but I don't think that he won't ever be fast again.
Right.
Kind of like how those posts are sounding.
Well, I think a lot of people feel that way, and I think a lot of people have been hard and negative, and I've been disappointed. And I called him to win the first round, right? I threw that feeling on my shoulder right there and was like, he's going to win, but
yeah. I mean,
he's struggling.
He's been on Cowies since 65s. Like, I mean,
I don't think it's that.
I don't
like,
either.
Yeah, he's
think that
pretty well
wreck-
admitted.
but give us some time.
Yeah.
Give us time.
There's some mental stuff going on. I talked to Coker and Brownie and a couple other guys over at Triumph, and they're like, dude, during the week when everybody's healthy, he's faster than Jordan. He's most often the fastest guy on the track, and then he comes here, and they're like, and then he rides like shit, and they're not happy at Triumph right now. From all being told, they're not happy with what he does at the races. But if you watch this weekend, like he rode pretty damn well. He went 11.89. Had to come from the back from some falls a couple times. He's got to stop crashing. Got to stop sliding out, falling down. He's got to stop that. But he's admitted, and he had a really good interview with Lewis on our post-race show, or on the post-race interviews, about like struggling. Or maybe it was press day. So if you guys, it's on one of those two. Go look at the Vital MX website. But like, yeah, he is struggling. He's not. This was actually, Lewis said this to him, and he kind of agreed. Like, maybe you're not ready to run up there yet. He talked about never really racing with some of those guys in 13th, 14th in his whole career. And he doesn't know what they're going to do. And that shows you right there. Like, he's not mentally going, shit, I'm just going to blow by these guys like he probably would have in the past. He's thinking about everything. Injuries like he's had, having brain surgery, all those things add up to a person, right? And I think he just wants to get through this series healthy. And I do believe he will come back to a higher level. Will he come back to the Austin Faulkner we're used to? I'm not ready to say that yet. But I think I need to back off on my judgment of what he's doing. So I don't think it's time to throw a towel in. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button yet. Next year would be where I would say.
Yeah, obviously this season has been somewhat disappointing and lower than expectations. But I'm not willing to say that he won't come back at some point, maybe even this year. So I think it'll be one of those deals where maybe he is fighting some of those, lack of a better word, those demons of past things, and he's having to kind of work through the mental things of coming up on other riders and being scared and stuff. But
it's also
all it takes,
dad.
That has a lot to do with it. I think all it takes is one race where he feels good, he gets a whole shot. He throws it down some heater laps and he maybe gets a heat win or something, and then boom, he's back. So I'm not willing to say that it won't happen as well. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. That crash last year was scary.
So bad.
It was like,
he's had a couple scary ones.
Yeah,
2-3 years in a row. I mean, think about 2 years before that in Arlington. Same.
Yeah, the one with Jet.
Yeah, maybe do West Coast.
One at Anaheim 1 or 2 where he got tangled up on the start.
It was A1.
Maybe don't do West Coast.
Right? So like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
He's just getting jacked.
That's a lot to come back from, and it's going to take some time. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
But then you have to think, again, going back to what we just talked about with RJ, right? Real life shit. So you have these issues. You're struggling mentally, probably. We can't, he is. He's struggling mentally. You're expected to be a top athlete, a top professional supercross rider. All these things add up, and you go out there and like, well, maybe I can't do it, but I got to do it. I need to do it. I want to do it. I can do it. Oh, maybe I can't do it. I'm scared to do it.
You're not even thinking about how to ride the motorcycle anymore.
Like
you're thinking about
the
everything
shit
else.
You should be focused on while you're racing probably isn't even hardly getting, it's like a tenth of what he probably should be focusing on.
That's how I ride.
Well, that's lack of ability for us. Like, I believe he has that ability, right? You generally don't lose the ability to ride a dirt bike if you're at that level.
Yeah, you don't lose the ability, but when you have all that other going around, it clouds that ability, I would say.
Now, look, the surgery on his brain, certainly it could have an effect on motor skills and timing.
Reaction time.
Yeah, it could. So I guess that's yet to be seen, right?
Okay, let me ask you this. Who would, from this point moving forward to whatever time frame it needs to be, who would you say gets a win sooner or easier or whatever? Fortner, Voland, Jet Reynolds.
Voland. I don't even have to think about it.
Because when you put it in that perspective, you think I think I would say Fortner has a better chance of winning one before Voland.
I'm going to go Voland right now.
Faulkner has more raw speed, but he can't find it.
He hasn't shown it yet this year. So if he shows it just one time, I'd be like, okay, it's still there.
And the reason why I picked those three guys, and I'm sure there's more that fit in this category, but the reason I picked those guys kind of off the top of my head is because they're all kind of in a similar category where they've had these expectations that still haven't fully been met.
Yeah.
So to put it back into that category, I think I still pick him as the best out of that. So I think that we, like you said to the forum chat, let's not put the panic button out yet. Let's just give him some time.
Raw talent and all that. Yeah, he's definitely the fastest out of those three. But I don't know that it's not there, that he's going to find it with everything going on.
Yeah.
Speaking of the forum chat, again, YouTube, like and subscribe, please. If you haven't done it already, hit that like every week. Subscribe.
Yeah, I got my Tim Tams.
Tim Tams.
It's been, we've been talking.
Good job, Tay Bill Jam.
Someone said that you ate the Australian ones and then replaced them.
I considered it. I considered eating those salted caramel ones because he did tell me I could have some.
No, you have a pooch now. You got to be back on your diet.
I have decided I am out on my snacks now because Chase over here came out and shot some photos of a TLD chest protector that I'm doing a review on. And when I saw the photos, I was like, oh boy, there's a little bit of a pooch hanging out the bottom of that thing.
Guess what we're doing Thursday?
Yeah,
we're reshooting.
Reshooting the chest protector photos.
Suck it in.
So yeah, I decided I wasn't going to steal any of your Tim Tams. So
I'm going to.
Yeah. Apparently, we have Chase and I have a scheduled fight in the yard after this.
If I don't get to sample any Tim
I'm gonna
Tams,
get my video camera out.
you better.
Okay, before we have about 5 minutes before we get to Justin Hill. Let's do the Evans Coolant emails. At least let's start them. Evans waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots. We don't want that. And detonation. We damn sure don't want that. But with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, Ampro Factory Yamaha, and many other. Regardless of the sponsorship, Evans is in the bikes on the podium. Okay, so I've got 3 here. Let's start with, I feel like we've done this one before, but Seth said, what's a skill you'd like to learn?
On a dirt bike or just in general?
I think in general. It doesn't say on a dirt bike. If it was on a dirt bike, I'd say to scrub. Not scrub, but whip. I want to throw a nasty whip.
As I think, I will preface it by saying that I do kind of wish that when I was 18, 19, 20, that I had gone into some kind of trade school rather than going into university and getting a degree that it really don't worthless. Even hardly use. I wish I had done that. I think it would have been a lot easier of a path, just to know to be an expert at something. I think that I kind of go back in time, that'd be something I would do. I don't know which one I'd pick, but I definitely think that.
I did go that route, and I promise your back hurts less than mine does.
What's a skill you like?
Dude, I'm around tattoo artists all the time. I can't draw. It's super sick. If I could learn one thing, it would be either drawing or tattoo.
I wish I could draw better.
Yeah, I'm around it every day at work.
Yours is being in a band, being an instrument, right?
Playing the guitar.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've sat down and I can pick it up pretty quick when I'm being taught, but I don't have the patience for it.
TJ just texted and said, I kind of wish I could spell.
Yeah,
me too. I sure do too.
So do we. Eric, let's in honor of TJ.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot.
It's not even here.
Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
Okay. Mark said in, what is your most embarrassing moment of your life?
Jesus.
Dude.
Nothing really stood out. There's been a lot, but nothing just that it's holy shit, that was the moment.
I've farted in my sleep in class one time. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I'd have to think about it.
Next to the girl that I had a crush on at the time.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
I dove we were playing dodgeball. It wasn't really embarrassing, kind of a little bit. I dove for dodgeball 5th grade and went face first into some bleachers. Didn't put my arms out, anything. Just accordioned my nose.
What about the pond jump?
Oh yeah, that's actually it. That's actually it. I broke my femur jumping a pond.
I don't think I knew this.
No, you didn't.
I forgot.
You didn't know
I don't talk about it.
I bring it up. I bring it up way too much.
So it was a toolbox out of the back of a truck and loading ramp, and I was called a certain P word that I wouldn't hit it because I was like, this is stupid.
He was also 14. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 14, and my dad called me a certain P word, and so I hit it, and straight scorpion into the ground, and I tried to throw the bike away, and the bike came over, and the seat hit my femur and just snapped it.
Nice.
Yeah,
it was bad.
I remember seeing a crappy flip phone cell phone video
really?
of it on school on Monday. Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, last one before we get to Justin Hill. This one could take some discussion time.
What was yours?
I don't have one that just stands out. I've had a lot of embarrassing moments, but nothing that I can think of that's
I need to prep.
What
Yeah.
about
so
at
many.
the races or something? You've called somebody the wrong name or done something
Okay. All right. That's perfect. So I was going through some of our old videos from back in the day, or my old videos when I first started MotoXpod.
cringe.
And that's embarrassing. But at WW Ranch, I was there for press day, and we were waiting to go out on the track. And I was just holding a GoPro. That's how I filmed back then. And it was Lorenzo Locurcio and Justin Starling, and I'm introducing them, and I go in. I blanked, and Justin's like, "Oh my God, you don't know my name," and he's never let me forget it.
Yeah,
and it was really embarrassing. That one was pretty embarrassing, and a very similar situation. We'll have to get to the last question in a minute. We got to get. Hang on, let me call Justin and get him on while I'm telling this last story. So at Anaheim in, I think, 2019, again on press day, I don't remember who I was interviewing, but I said something like, you're second in points right now, or you're third in points right now. And he goes, nope, I'm second. I went, oh, shit. I said, let me start over.
I think I remember
So
that.
as soon as I started re-recording, Ricky Carmichael was standing there. He goes, hey, Darkside, why'd you start over? You didn't know what position he was, did you? So that was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my embarrassing moments, and there's plenty of them at this job or in just life. But all right, our next guest is on the line. Tonight, our next guest is going to be brought to you by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, and wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight seat foam. Don't forget, they have complete seats for the Talaria and Super 73 and covers for the Suron and Segway, and they strive to ship orders within 36 business hours. So visit gutsracing.com and let them know the MotoXpod show sent you. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from Team Tedder KTM, our boy, Justin Hill. What's up, Justin?
What's happening?
Dude, we're just, we just got done talking to RJ Hampshire. We're talking a little bit about Birmingham, and now we're talking to you, man.
Yeah, what RJ have to say about it? I thought it was kind of scary.
He said that he really regrets his start in the third race. He should have been more focused because he would have won the overall. But he said he struggled with his physically. He was having issues. He's not sure if it was body or back, but he couldn't really coming out of corners. He couldn't stand up and squat or push the bike through the jumps. He was just struggling, which is why, I don't know if you rewatched the race, he looked pissed off on every podium, and that's why.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't blame him. It's kind of in a similar spot. It's never fun to have to race hurt. One of my least favorite things to do.
Yeah. So did you? I'm sure you're a little banged up from that practice crash, right?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, considering I'm grateful, man. I'm happy I didn't just throw it all away right there. It was a pretty big crash. Didn't land very gracefully. Didn't see it coming. So, yeah, I'm pretty glad that I'm in one piece relatively. I mean, I got a pretty solid ankle sprain that has been swollen up and everything, but it's like,
oh boy,
it's not. It ain't going to stop me. I raced with it, so I already know that I did that. So there's no way I'm not doing it again, and it's getting better, even though I'm pushing through on it. It's improving. So I was able to ride today. It hurt a bunch, but it was just, hurt less than it did Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's super encouraging.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask if you would choose to not ride this week, but you already answered that. So, well, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say for me, it's just like I'm in a slump as far as, two races just with being under the weather, and then now a big crash and a throwaway. And it's just like, dude, I'm hitting the ground running, even though I can't run, there was no chance of staying off the bike this week for sure. For me, I want to get some ground back and, get back to my routine. So,
yeah. Well, so obviously you're not stoked on your results the last couple of weeks, but your season as a whole, I know you're happy with, currently 9th in points, and just, I think just crushing it, man, honestly, gaining a lot of respect and opening a lot of eyes this season. I know you've talked about it a little bit this season, but it's impressive, man. I'm just beyond happy seeing you be the happiest I think I've ever seen you.
Yeah, that's kind of, I might not even maybe look as happy as usual because I'm definitely more focused, like come race weekends. I used to be all a little bit more kind of maybe just happy to be there and messing around and whatever. I'm definitely more locked in, when it comes to the race days than I've ever been. I'm slightly a little less social. It's funny. I used to kind of judge certain riders when we'd be on like the line, in staging or whatever, or getting ready for the to load into the gate, and they're like not approachable. I used to think not great of that.
Sure.
And now I just so get it. Now it makes total sense. It's like, no, I'm in the zone, dude. It's like, leave me alone. And I never got that till now. where, that's just where my head's been. But of course I still like to do that, but it's just a lot less. But, it's a good year so far as just, I have reached kind of a couple of the little goals that I had set out, but not even close to the ones that I still want so badly and wanted the most, which was a race win this year. And, it's like, it's always funny. I feel like in this sport, like you can feel like you're 10 miles away. And then just a couple little things go right, and you can get you right back on track and put you right back where you want to be. And that's what I'm looking for right now. It's just like these last 3 weeks have been very tough. Daytona, I was a little under the weather, just a little bit low on energy, just kind of rode around and got my 7th or whatever it was. Indy, I was like dead. I just had nothing, like super flat, easily the worst I felt. And again, just kind of was forced to ride around for my, I think 9th or whatever, it's just frustrating. And then this last weekend, truth be told, even with the big crash and even with, as kind of mangled up as I was and just struggling, that first main, I crashed twice and went for a pit stop because my shroud busted off. So it was like I pulled in to try to get it to see if I could fix it, because I had a similar thing happen in San Diego, which ultimately ruined my motor. So I tried to prevent that by pulling in. Unfortunately it didn't work, but it's just when you have 10 feet to decide to pit or not, it's not very much time for you to make that choice.
Right.
So I did that. And so, truth be told, without those two crashes and a freaking pit stop in the first main, I probably could have ended up okay, just, milking my way through the mains with my hurt ankle. But, I just kind of had a throwaway. Like, it's just unfortunate, but I'm good, man. I'm still really just loving every piece and process to this. Like, I'm super jazzed about it. I've never loved the sport so much. I've never loved and enjoyed trying to get so good at it as I do right now. And I'm just seriously excited about the future and how much further I can take it. And it's going so good so far. I just need to, get out of this little slump I'm in right now. But I think it's going to be easy. My head stayed stuck down, and I'm pushing forward, and I know what happens when I do that, so.
Oh yeah, we've seen it. And I want to touch on that. You kind of talked about, like in the past, seeing these other riders maybe were more focused than you were and having some fun. And you talked about being recommitted this season and after last year. Talk about that a little bit more on our show for listeners that maybe didn't hear you on Pulp or whatever, why you decided to literally recommit your diet, your training at this point in your career.
I think that it just came from age, honestly. Like, I just think it took me this long to figure out the importance of all these little things. I still look back and think, the entire time I knew that if I just did this, that, and the other thing, that I could be special in the sport. And there was just always something holding me back from, like, kind of pulling the trigger on those type of disciplines. And I just think I just got too old to mess around anymore. And I'm running, I'm probably running on a 5-year maximum as far as how much longer I could do this.
Okay.
And it's like, I want to see how far I can take it, how good I can get. And I don't want to be, I've got so many things I want to do in my life, and I'm really excited for, I am excited for retirement someday, and being able to look back fondly on the effort I put in is what I feel focused on right now, is just actually seeing, what I was capable of at the end of the day. And because, like I was telling Jace earlier or late last year coming into the season, it's like, I still didn't know how good I can be, how good I actually am. And the question's still there. And I'm constantly asking it to myself as we push through these things. And I just think that this is the beginning As far as how, because I screwed up a lot of other stuff this year just because that happens, and I'm just learning so much still. It seems silly, like, to be, damn near 30, and like, you'd think I would have most of this stuff kind of figured out, but I just don't. And I'm more open to admitting that and trying to get it figured out as swiftly as possible than I ever was before. I think that's the key, is more so my ears are open, and I'm willing to listen to myself, willing to listen to at least when it comes to the bike and other things that I need to do and develop with, like, just more open-minded with everything, to where I don't know, I'm just like, I'm pretty old school with a lot of things, and I just don't buy into a lot. I don't buy into a lot of stuff. So it's really hard. Like, I'm just a tough sell. Like, if you have information that could be awesome, I used to be one of the very last person that you'd ever convince to do it. And that's just my personality. I don't know. It's definitely an Achilles for this sport, because you need to be open-minded. Mm-hmm. But I'm working on that actively. So
yeah, it's really interesting, the progression of Justin Hill, Scotty.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's really cool to see kind of, I don't really want to call it a rededication, but to see that you're focused back on this, because you've always had the talent and you've shown it, and your brother has the talent too. We've seen other brothers in the sport both be good at motocross, supercross, and kind of where I wanted to go with this is, do you feel that you and your brother's ability to send it and the spectacular things that you guys do, is that a more nature or nurture thing? Like, Nate, the old nature versus nurture question.
I think it's a little bit of a riddle, because, it has to be kind of bloodline, honestly, I think, because there's certain things that you, of course, build confidence for in life. Like, you do something plenty of times and it starts to scare you less. I mean, that's just pretty simple. But like, when me and Josh, I think, do have those kind of have those, like, crazy eyes when it comes to looking at certain stuff. And it just from the hip doesn't phase or scare us, like, just naturally, which I think is that's really it. Like, we just have kind of that calculatory mind when it comes to some of the bigger jumps and that kind of stuff, just the technical stuff. But that being said, like, my dad was, like, teaching us how to do this tech from, like, really, really a really young age. Like, we were out there doing way more technical stuff than anybody of our, age group at the time. He was always building things as we got older, 3 steps ahead. And so it's probably both, to be honest. It's probably half turned down and half turned down's blood. I don't know.
I just thought that was interesting, because, like, you guys both are known for sending it, and that's like, is it a peer pressure or wanting to do a big brother thing? Like, I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting topic.
Like, one of my least favorite guys, honestly, like, and this is going to sound so awful, but it's like, sometimes one of my least favorite guys to ride with is my brother, because we do want to, like, do the big, if we're looking at big stuff, it's like, okay, somebody's going to hit it first, and somebody's going to maybe make a decision a little quick or whatever. And we are I do feel like we're a little competitive with each other when it comes to that kind of stuff. But, if it's, like, reasonable sized stuff that isn't going to get us hurt, he's the most fun dude that I could ever think of to ride with. And then if it's stuff I'm scared of, I'm like, oh, Josh, don't do that. I don't want to do it. Like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So you kind of talked about kind of looking forward to retirement, and with how much, like, bike skills you have, do you have any kind of, like, non-dirt bike motorcycle plans for after you're done with Supercross?
It's hard to say, like, what will take up the majority of my time, but definitely I really enjoy working with guys, coaching. It's a lot of fun for me. So I'm sure I'll do plenty of that. And I also, obviously, out where I live, I've built a pretty fun riding spot, and it's one of just a few around me. So it's going to probably turn into more. So I want to do some practice track, ride days and coaching and stuff like that for sure. Just because like I used to kind of not like the last time when I took time off away from the sport, you couldn't pay me to look at a motorcycle. Like that's where my head was. And now looking back on that, I'm like, I think I was crazy. Like it's so cool. And after going through that and coming back and finding just the most big heart for it again, it'll never leave my life. Like that's for sure. But that's that's within the last couple of years, I've just developed that on accident. I don't know where it came from, but I just love it again. It's so cool. I think it's just, you get to a point where, I don't know, you're considering maybe the window's kind of closing and you're like, man, I guess it is kind of cool that I'm like, can be really good at this thing. And then you start to like really appreciate it. I've started to just really appreciate it. So it'll never leave my life again. So I'll definitely do some promoting, some coaching, some stuff like that. As far as like other forms of competition on bikes, I don't really have much in my mind. I'd like to do a little bit of what my brother does as far as media, just do fun film projects and go build fun jumps and make brands look cool. And that, to me, that seems like one of the coolest retirements that a guy could have. But the way I see it is I'm 29 right now. So it's like, I think the sport's getting older in a way. It's with Jet and with Cole Davies, you'd think, no, it's not. These guys got it figured out so quick, but it is, the sport is getting older. Like just a few years ago when Eli won, championship when he was 30, and he was the oldest champion and the first champion as a father. And that just happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, it is evolving to the older crowd. I mean, you got most of the guys that I am racing right now are 3 and 4 years older than I am, minus obviously AP and Kenny, and Malcolm's kind of in the middle. But there's a lot of older guys, a lot older than me, and it doesn't appear that their age is holding them back by any means. So I'm looking at it like, okay, well, in 4 years, I'm sure I can still be firing on all cylinders. I feel the best that I've ever felt in my life right now, but that's from other decisions that I make now. But either way, because I figured that out, I just bought myself a lot of time.
Yeah. No, it's really impressive to see, and you're right. Like I think Cooper's 29, and Jason's getting up there. Right, all those guys. Yeah, the sport's age level is increasing, and I told Kenny when I interviewed him a few weeks back that like I think we need to drop the whole age thing when we talk about it. Oh, well, are you going to age out? Like I just, it's time to drop that. It's not a factor anymore.
Yeah, I mean it is if you're doing it wrong.
Well,
but how JB was obviously deep into his 30s, like 36 or 37, and so was Chad. Chad was riding insanely good. But there comes a time where if you hit the deck, your recovery is worse. That happens. I don't think I can, I don't know if there's much that you can do to stop that as far as, how you recover from injuries, I think is probably one of the biggest things. Cause when you're 17 and you freaking break your wrist, like you're riding, you could race in 2 weeks. Like you're made of, you're still built with that child rubber.
Yeah.
So it's just like you get older and that's, I think, the big one. But as far as energy and cardiovascular and just overall strength and cardiovascular capacity and everything to do with the sport, as long as you're doing it good and you're being responsible with how you're doing it, I think you can definitely do it pretty late. I don't know what the number is. Maybe it's 38. I don't know. Maybe 38's like, that's the end. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess maybe Chiz will find it. He says he's going to retire, but I don't think he will. So yeah, we'll let Chiz try to find that limit.
Even Phil, he retired.
Coming back. Yeah, he's coming back.
And now he's racing Canadian.
Justin Hill tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. I want to talk to you a little bit about lack of respect and see what you think about that. Before I get into that, I want to give a shout out. One of my tattoo artists who in San Diego, Jay Hansen, has been he's the captain of your ship. He, before the season started, was, man, Justin Hill's going to crush it this year. And I promise you, he texts me 100 times a week, it feels like, about Justin Hill. How good Justin is. Justin's going to win Daytona. Justin's going to, he's going to finish better than Cooper Webb. Just you watch. I mean, the dude, I think he likes you a little bit, Justin, but he's a big, big fan. And he's been right about a lot of this. And he says, man, the industry is not giving Justin Hill the respect he deserves. They're not talking about how he's beating factory riders, and I want to ask you, do you feel there is a lack of respect or support from the industry for what you've been doing this season?
Although I appreciate him saying that as far as just in a good light, like, no, I actually feel the complete opposite. I feel like maybe it's just because I had maybe more so of like a tough go with just how I went about the sport before when I was younger. And, it just seemed like for whatever reason, I was never able to just kind of be me and then show up and do what people maybe expected or whatever it was. So, anything that I did besides, finishing well was always met with like some manner of, I don't know, like non-optimism from the media and everything else. Whereas now it's like, I could go and like, I don't know, I could just go video walking somebody's dog and people would like it. I don't know. It just seems to me like
I see what you're saying.
Everybody, like, yeah, it just seems to me like everybody enjoys what I'm doing, and it doesn't, more than ever. And so I'm more like, no, I think I'm getting I think I'm getting great TV time. I think I'm getting good recognition for the effort that I've put in. And it just, and honestly, there's other guys that have finished better than me that I believe in my heart, fully, that I need to be beating consistently. So to me, I'm underperforming for what I want to do. And I'm getting more, I'm getting a lot of, fluff up pieces from a lot of folks. And so it's kind of like, I don't necessarily enjoy it as much, but I also just, I know how kind of fickle media and everybody is anyway. And so I just, good, bad, or indifferent, like I just don't absorb it enough for it to like make a difference in my life. So it's not something I'm like super keyed in on.
Yeah.
But
okay. Good.
Seems like everything I do is like everybody likes all of a sudden, which is fine. That's cool.
It is cool, man, because I think I've known you for a few years now, and I think you're a cool dude off the bike. And so, yeah, I think it's cool that people are starting to see a little bit of your that and give you the credits that you're, yeah, that's great. Scotty?
Yeah, Justin, it is kind of interesting, these narratives that get spun. And it's like, with the injuries at Honda this year, there was a topic of who's going to fill in a ride, and your name was thrown in a lot. And it's like, wait, hold on, time out. I don't think Justin wants to leave what he's built right now. Like, this is working for him. Why would he just abandon that? Like, it's crazy how they try to form you into a personality when really it's like no, this is what he wanted.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I looked at it the other way, which, and yes, you're right. Like, I love my team and my people, and that would have been an extremely hard sell. But but from my way of looking at it, it's like, okay, was performing pretty well for what, I guess level of rider I'm supposed to be, whatever you want to call it. Right. And I'm on this motorcycle. Most people don't fully understand how completely different racing an aluminum frame versus a steel frame is. Like, it's such a big jump. It's really, really hard to like go from something that's a steel frame and go over and then feel comfortable right away. So, and the Honda guys know that. Like, they're going to know that there's a insane potential that I go over there and I do worse. Mm-hmm. Which is like not good for them.
No,
right?
it's not.
so, there's that too to look at, but yeah, I really enjoy my people. So that was never something that I really considered, but, of course this is my job. So if there becomes a situation where I can somehow, 10X my job in some way or another, of course, there's always going to be, you're always going to take a look at that, as I've said, but I really, really dig my people that I work with. And, so does my wife, so does my kids. I got babysitters on Saturday with my second family. The Tedders are such cool people, man. It's really, I would cry real alligator tears if I ever had to leave them for some reason.
That's great. That's good to hear. And I was going to say, I think if a factory ride came calling, that I don't know if that's what you like. The program is even what you would make you happy, like you are now with your unconventional way of liking to do things, right? I mean, the responsibilities, the expectations change, and I think you kind of just touched on it a little bit, like money versus freedom. What you have to you got to find that balance. And yeah, I think the happy Justin Hill we're seeing right now, a little bit of that is because of, I don't know if that, like you said, if that would work with a factory ride as much.
Well, it could be that, but there's certain things that fit me really good in my life right now. And this is what fits me really good in life. And yeah, of course, if I'm considering, the motorcycle, if I'm considering, the salary, the where I'm going to live, the who I get to ride with, who I get to work with, all those kinds of things. I mean, yeah, it would have to be really, really good on so many fronts, for me to be like, okay, that program looks good to me. There is, of course, every OEM right now. And then obviously, you have to count Star as OEM for Yamaha, but every OEM is putting together clearly an insanely good race program. No one's putting together a poor one. So as I get older, that's the other thing I have to keep in my mind, which is that you can never just say no. That's a terrible thing to do because it doesn't help you anywhere. You always have to consider everything, but it's like, yeah, I could consider a million things and still wind up home where I am, I guess is my point, because I really like it. And I think it works really well for me. And it ties back into, I only get to do this for so long, and who do I want to do it with?
Yep.
That too. So, and currently, the Tedders have been insanely good to me all the way through, and currently they're able to continue putting together a super good program. So, maybe if that changes someday, there's something to be said, but I don't see that. I think that Matt's going to continue to put together the best thing he can for me, and I don't think that we have I don't think we're behind on equipment. I don't think any of those things. I think it's, I've been on factory teams. I know what's out there. I think that our program is really good.
So with them being probably like a privateer team and y'all running black bikes, I know with like contingency, they don't want to pay if you don't run the color. Do they give y'all any kind of help? Or are they kind of bitter with y'all running the black bikes?
Yeah, so the color is a big deal for them, obviously, but it's just a little bit tricky with Monster and with them. So KTM has graciously carried on with my contingency for me personally. I do have branding on the gear. We've enlarged branding, and obviously it's not the color, but they're kind of thankfully making somewhat of an exception, being that we kind of up some of the branding in other areas, which, for anybody that wants to just kind of buy a KTM and then make it, and they think it looks cool to do a different color or whatever, like pretty much you consider you're going to lose your contingency. Like, don't take me for an example. Like, this is a specific situation where we've gotten it kind of to where we can continue that, but I love the look of our bikes. I think everything looks really cool. It's just a different kind of, we're like the, kind of black sheep team a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
And that fits us too, though. Like we are the kind of the over here guys, in a way. But I take that as a compliment. Like, I like that. So, and I think that it doesn't really hurt us to have something that is just kind of a little bit like, it's a little different. And they've had that look for honestly a long time. I think it's just, people are starting to, obviously with maybe the little bit extra exposure that I've been able to bring to them in the last few years, that people are paying attention a little bit more to, okay, what is this program?
Yeah, for sure.
Why does it look this way? You know? But yeah, I love the way that it looks. I wouldn't change any of it. But obviously what it comes down to for kind of the why, at least in part why, is just the color is kind of a clank of heads with just the KTM, what KTM colors would want, what Monster would want. So it's just, we're out here running black because we just want to be in the middle and keep everybody as happy as we can. It's tough, but you know, everyone's been so cool and helpful on both sides. And just, I think that, you know, they've noticed the things that we've done better, and this, especially this year, and have really stepped up to help us even more. Everybody has. So I think it's only improving. But
I love
hopefully if I go out and kill it and get where I want to be, it'll improve a lot.
We got two more for you.
I was just say, has anyone gotten a hole-in-one yet at the rig?
Oh,
not yet. I'm waiting. I ask after all the practices, and like, anybody hit it? No.
Yeah, I think that's so cool that y'all do the fan engagement that y'all get out of that is awesome.
yeah. All right, I want to go back in your history for a second, Justin. I was looking through some of your results, and I had forgotten this. 2011 Monster Energy Cup. You remember how that race finished?
Yep.
4-way tie, guys. You remember that, Scotty, Chase?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
4-way tie for a race win. That's crazy. Austin Paultelli, Zach Bell, Cole Thompson, Justin Hill, and Justin Witt gets the overall. Dude, what a cool – I mean, like the whole time you're probably trying to do the math in your head, and there's almost impossible.
Yeah, which is a pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah.
It's not like, so I obviously got that Loretta's title that year and then won that. And that was like because I got hurt my A year. So I had almost no results. I won a couple of championships with my knee that had blown my knee out, and I ended up still winning, and that helped too. But that pretty much Monster Cup was like the big pivotal thing that happened that secured, you know, my options, my deals. But yeah, I think I did all kinds of bad stuff that first moto. I remember, like, I think I hit a tough block, went off the track. I think I ran into by somebody, like the whole thing where I was just like, dude, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, It's a 4-lap race, and I'm throwing this thing away right now. Like, what's up? And then got, like, when I got fourth when I crossed the line and I looked up and I was in fourth, I'm like, dude, how did I just get like fourth even? I felt like I was going to get 15th the way it was going. And then, obviously it was like, all right, shake that off and just go get it down. It was like, you know, I wasn't doing any math. I was just going for the win. And it, luckily, you know, sometimes things shake out cool, sometimes they don't. But I was blessed to get that at that moment, because things would have been very different for me in my career. In the next 15 years would have changed big time.
Well, I'm glad you got the win, and I'm glad you're doing so well in 2025, man. I love seeing you. You always have a smile for me when I see you over the years, but this year it's a little different, man. It hits a little different. I'm digging it. So congratulations on a great season so far. Go to Seattle, man, and kick some ass.
I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for having me on, man. We need to do it more often. I know I'm like more busier than ever.
It's all good.
Yeah, I always love being on here. Always love hanging with you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man, and I appreciate it. We'll definitely get back to it. So, but yeah, good luck this weekend, and we'll talk real soon.
Cool, brother. Take care.
You too, Justin. Thanks. Justin Hill tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. And don't forget, you can use promo code VITALMX to save 20%. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yep, I like Justin a lot. I remember, I think it was the same year as my embarrassing moment at Anaheim that I told about earlier. I was in the hotel, and I just walked into the lobby, and I was like waiting to pay for my room, check in, and he walked in, and saw me and he turned and came and talked to me, and like I was still really new at this, and I was like, wow, this is kind of like
Pretty
this is
cool.
cool. Yeah, like he just came, hey, how are you doing? Good to see you here, that kind of thing. And ever since then, I've like just been like, okay, I'm a Justin Hill fan. As like he's like a buddy, right? He became a friend pretty quickly, and just I didn't know that about him, that he had that personality.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of both the Hills.
It is interesting that it seems like people forget that. I mean, he's in the same boat as Christian Craig, Mookie, like Ferrandis, all these guys that have a title. I mean, he has a title. Like like it's almost like you forget that he has one. Like it's crazy, and I'm so happy to see that he's rededicated himself to it. And interested to see, he kept saying 5 years, so
that's
I'd be interested to see what the 5 years has to hold.
All right,
are we going back to the emails?
Yeah, we got still a bunch of stuff to get to, but let's do ETS Race Fuels real quick, just to read. We're not doing Turk's Take or anything, so. ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams in highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podiums wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com to find your local distributor. We appreciate ETS Racing Fuels being on board with us. All right. So, you know what? Let's save this last email. We'll save it for next week. That's a good one. We'll save it.
Okay.
Just, maybe we don't.
What if there's a good one next week?
Well, then we'll
do two.
We'll figure out. We'll try to do two next week. MotoXpod@gmail.com to send your emails in. Let's do the T-Bolt USA top 5. I'm excited about this.
Oh, yeah, me too.
These last few top 5s have been fun. If you are a pit bike enthusiast and you love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. T-Bolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike, from BBR handlebars to D&M shocks and even full bikes from YCF and Pitster Pro bikes. T-Bolt USA has it all. They even have the stuff for the Chinese bikes that are so difficult to find. You'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at TBoltUSA.com. All right, T-Bolt USA top 5 this week was favorite childhood toys. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Chase.
We go 5-1 here.
Okay.
Number 5 was the Ripstick. Was the one-wheeled swivel wheel skateboard. I can get down on one of those things. Lincoln Logs.
Stole one of those from Walmart.
Those things are sick. Lincoln Logs. Like,
Lincoln Logs.
people always played with Legos growing up. Lincoln Logs were way better than Legos. I'll die on that hill. I'll die on
I don't
that
think
hill.
they were better, but I like Lincoln Logs
They're
too.
way cooler. Sock'em Boppers.
Oh,
Dude, I wore my brother out with those things. The X Factor plastic ramps.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't stay still.
Yeah.
As soon as you hit it, they moved, and you blew yourself apart on a mongoose, but it was a great time. And then top was PS1. I had one of the original PS1s, and that thing was sick.
I didn't know video games counted.
Yeah, well, I counted it.
Yeah. You're lucky you had one of the you said the little ramps.
Dude.
Like all we had was a piece of wooden bricks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was later in my childhood.
Ramps,
Yeah, we built them too, but that was later in my childhood.
All right, so I'll go ahead and get this one out of the way. I also had Sock'em Boppers. I had a Sock'em sword and a shield too. Those
Dude,
are
you had
cool.
a sword?
Yeah, the Sock'em sword. Yeah, but no, yeah, me and my
fancy.
Me and my dad used to
Your
knock.
parents were rich.
We used to whoop the crap out of each other with those things. The Road Champs MX bikes, like the McGrath and the Carmichael and the Stewart. I had,
the
you got
Pastrana one
Pastrana
there.
right there. I don't
The
know
rest
if I
of
can
them I gave away.
get that on camera, but
The rest I gave away to April and Cole Johnson.
when they have a kid.
When he was really little. Yep.
Dude, because I know that they try to sell that one that they have now. That thing's
Suck. There's two of them behind you under the helmets.
that is.
Look at TJ's comment.
All right. Is it text or?
Oh, it's in
It's in the chat.
Okay. Read it. Can you read it?
Yeah, I guess. I really liked the rocket ship massager my mom had in her sock drawer.
Idiots.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot. Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
That might be the funniest thing TJ's ever said.
It made me turn red.
Okay, finish
so
your
funny.
list.
Like my BMX bike, having a BMX bike, hitting the ramps that we were talking about. Legos, we're gonna put on there, and then also the Playmobil.
What is that?
Yeah.
It was kind of like Legos. It was like you'd buy it'd be different themes, just kind of like how Legos were.
Okay.
You didn't have to
Section
put them
8
as
Legos.
you didn't have to put them as together. Well, the reason why I
Like they were
liked
pre-built, you just snapped a couple people
yeah,
on.
but the reason why I liked one is because the first one I had was a Jeep with a trailer that had dirt bikes on it.
Oh, okay.
So
All right, yeah.
so that would go, and then honorable mention the bouncy castle I got on my 7th birthday. I think it was pretty sweet.
All right. All right.
My friend found a piece of candy corn in the corner and ate it. And so,
Ew.
All right. Obviously, I'm going to have some honorable mentions because I can never do just 5. G.I. Joe action figures.
Is that the honorable mention, or is
Nope,
that part
we're starting
of it?
with 5. I love my Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and all the. I love cutting the cards out on the back, and you would save them like in a little box, and it had all the bio of every action, every character. So those were cool. The Cobra Rattler plane was one of my favorite.
What?
The Cobra Rattler plane.
Okay.
Cobra's
Yeah,
the bad guys in G.I. Joe.
Okay, cool.
The
Yeah.
Rattler was the name of the plane.
Okay.
It was a A-10, but the wings turned to 90 degrees and it took off straight up, which isn't like a real thing
Yeah.
with the A-10, but it was
Yeah,
badass.
no with A10, but there's some stuff.
It-
that-
hair, yeah,
it's
but-
crazy that like you got it more than we did, but the new generation doesn't get it. The details that they used to put into toys and stuff
they're
like
so
that.
good.
Yeah.
Everything's made
Everything's
like
cheap
crap now.
junk
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Castle Grayskull from He-Man, the playset. That was awesome. I like my He-Man action figures too.
Is all yours just dolls?
No, they're action figures. I never got into Transformers, although they were cool. I just didn't get bought any. So I was like, yeah, I don't like those because I never got any. But G.I. Joe was my thing. My Millennium Falcon. And then here's the one that maybe, this is the reason I brought this
I think
topic
we're
up.
at like 12.
Oh yeah, you told me about this. This thing is sick.
So mine was the Arco A-Team gun. I found a Rambo one on eBay a while back. You can see, can they see it on the camera?
Yeah, turn it
So-
a little more
to
to
the
the
right.
camera so it's glaring a little bit.
a little
There
more
you
to
go.
the right.
There you go. Perfect.
So all these guns would go together, and they all shot these different darts, like these little grenade darts, and I would set up all my action figures in my room
Play with your
and
dolls.
shoot them. But look, dude, it's got a silencer, it's got a long
Yeah.
stock, it's got a tripod. It would come apart, and man, it was the
That's
coolest.
pretty legit for 1954.
Yeah, look at this. Hey, I'm not on mic right now.
Oh yeah, that thing's legit. Don't shoot me with it.
Dude, you can shoot me. I don't care.
Yeah. Ah, weak.
Hang on. Maybe there's a reason. Now it's broke.
You
Wow.
broke- I mean,
Oh.
Ah, my broke.
Damn, you got ripped off.
Why did it get ripped off? It's 30 or 40 years old, bro.
yeah.
Ah, damn it.
Oh well,
I'm
I
glad
got
'cause
an
you were
honorable
pointing
mention.
that straight at my face.
Yeah, so if you're not watching this, you can't see it, but Arco A-Team or Rambo gun, M24 assault rifle.
Dude, I had a bunch of cap guns.
Cap
too.
guns
Oh,
I
cap
miss
guns.
cap. They're kind of lame, yeah, but they're fun.
All right, honorable mentions were Micro Machines, Stomper trucks, the original Nintendo, which I bought with
Yeah.
my own money at like 13, and my GT Pro Performer.
I think I definitely would have to put, like, if we're going to include consoles, I'm definitely going to throw like a PS2 or N64
Yeah.
or something in there.
Dude, I still
didn't-
have my PS2 in there.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't. Oh, never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I can't believe my gun doesn't work. I'm so
Yeah, I'm kinda
sad
bu-
right
Honor-
now.
bummed about it, too.
honorable mention. Another one for me is like fireworks.
Yeah.
I never
We had,
cared.
dude. I went wild. I've almost
Yeah,
blown my hand
well-
off a couple times.
My uncle was a truck driver, and he would go to the places, the states that sold fireworks all year round, and he would just like bring me back thousands of like little water dynamites and bottle rockets and all that.
Dude.
So it's just like I just had an endless supply. So it was always was screwing with them.
Dude, Ricky's uncle with
Chuck?
fireworks.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, we don't.
His uncle's got a like a
Yeah,
pilot
he-
license and does like all the stuff you
Yeah.
have to build.
buys like
Dude, it's
cakes and
insane.
times them and everything. Yeah, it's nuts. All right, you figuring it out over there?
I'm working on it. Hang on.
We're gonna get demonetized for this.
What?
Because you're loading a.
Yeah.
It's showdowns, not shootouts.
Yeah, let's go.
You were pointing around in my face. I thought you were going to hit me in the face.
I wish.
I didn't aim at your face. If I'd aimed at your face, I would have hit you in the face.
Well, you're just a bad aim.
No, I hit you exactly where I aimed.
No,
with
he's just
my
got a
marksman.
that gun got dropped. He's got to sight it in.
Yeah. that thing's got a little weight to it. I've kind of felt
Awesome.
that.
It used to knock over all my G.I. Joes.
One of the guys in the chat said he stuck in one of his cousin's foot on accident.
Stuck what?
Like shot one into his cousin's foot or something. I don't know.
I don't think he did one of these.
Oh, dude, we had blow dart guns when I was a kid too.
All right.
Blow dart, paintball guns. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have our top 5 set up for next week, so send us in a top 5 list.
Okay.
MotoXpod@gmail.com.
Somebody said I miss eating glue.
Okay.
Our chat is so
Barnett
good.
clutches, pick one. Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with promo code VitalMX, all caps. This week's pick one is from Chase. He said 90s or 2000s moto. This is very much like the music one. 90s is 10 years. 2000s is now 25 years. But I get the idea.
How was 90s 10 years ago?
No, then you get 2010.
90 to 2000 is 10 years.
Oh, okay.
2000
to 2010.
Okay, so all right.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't say
the-
2010.
Well, then it would be the 2010s. And then,
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
fair
right.
enough.
Chase is right.
You're probably right. All right. What do you got, Chase? You
dude, the
brought it up.
90s, McGrath, like
Okay.
all the old guys I grew up with, which I was young in the 90s, so I've gone back and watched most of it. I didn't really watch it when I was growing up. And I watched more of the 2000s, so you'd think I'd be more.
Yeah, I'm surprised a little bit.
I like the 90s a lot more. I like the interviews, everything about it. Like, I don't know, it got kind of lame in the 2000s when Ricky ran the sport with all the training.
Ouch.
Not you know what I mean.
I know, and everybody says that. I think my take on it is that, yes, the 90s were great, and the drink a beer Saturday night and race Sunday morning, and that kind of thing was.
That's
really
what I do
cool.
now.
It was really cool. It was very relatable. But I think that because of what they did, and then the way they elevated the sport in the 90s, kind of created the 2000s that did evolve to what we have now, which is a really good sport.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I think I just remember, like, especially like the early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, when McGrath was still there and still the champion. And then like up to like 04, 05, like the sport was pretty grand.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was a spectacle to it. There was like an aura about it, with especially when Stu came in. The vibe that it put off, then it just seems. I know it's nostalgia is always 2020 or whatever you want to say.
I think
but it's just really cool when I thought about the vibe of that early 2000s TGO videos and all of that, the Great Outdoor videos and all those. I think that's why I choose especially early 2000s.
Okay. So it's funny because I went the other way from you, Chase. I mean, I grew up with 90s moto, and I did make notes of, yes, McGrath and the tracks were cooler, but I went 2000s because of James and Ricky. There's some of their battles, RV a little bit later, and just that it was easier access. The TV package was better, so we got to watch them more instead of waiting a week and just getting like the main event with commercials or whatever. Like, I added that into my thought process of why I picked that. So yeah, I went 2000s for that reason, but I do think the 90s was cooler. But if I was going to pick one, like an era where I had more enjoyment watching it, maybe the 2000s, just because I could watch it.
It was easier to watch for sure, and like
anyway.
It probably did more for the sport, just people being able to see it, it looking better on TV because they were going faster. But
and in our group text with Justin, I think it was TJ or somebody said, you should ask him if he would do the Kevin Windham transfers. Mm-hmm. In my reasoning for the 2000s, I put Kevin Windham transfers.
Yeah,
but that was
point.
It was
07, 08, 09.
So.
In my mind, I was going 2000s, all the 2000s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I think 2009 was the year he ate shit on the one at Arlington.
Yeah.
09 or 2010, something like that.
All right. FXR Picks for Seattle is what we're going to close the show out with. And FXR is designed by racers for racers. With industry-leading fit, finish, and performance, progression is the name of the game. With every new piece created, at FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by Muckoff, FXR Club MX Yamaha, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core motor roots, so visit FXRracing.com or go to your local dealership to see the complete 2025 line. including the new Mesh Vapor 25.5. It's out, or go to your local dealership and check it all out. You can try it on. It's good stuff. It's what I wear 99% of the time when I'm riding. Picks for Seattle. You want me to go first? Let's do 450 and 250 since we're back west. You want to?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am going, it's supposed to be a mutter. I'm going 94, Kenny. If he races, he's a little bothered with that AC separation, but I'm going to go 94 Cooper Webb, Chase Sexton for the 450s. 250s, I'm going out on a limb here. Shimoda, Shock, Smith, Jordan Smith. Deegan doesn't make the podium.
Yeah,
I screws it all up.
I could see that.
I can't really see it, but I was like, let's just imagine like San Francisco last year, disgusting mud, or anything can happen.
Yeah, maybe if it's like a crazy mud like that and some bike thing happens, but other than that, I don't think. The only way Deegan won't make the podium is if he gets arrested again.
Probably. All right, who wants to go next?
Let's go Webb, AP, Anderson. I think he's gonna come back after last week, and then let's go. Ooh. I need to look.
Give me your 450.
Okay, I'm gonna go Sexton, AP, Webb.
Okay,
and then for 250s, I'm gonna go Deegan, Davies. How's Juju doing? Is he did the week off? Is he back to riding good, or is he still kind of riding pretty tore up?
How am I supposed to know?
Because you're actually getting paid to do this kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, I haven't called him.
Well, I mean, like, is there not? What's the word on the street? Is he okay?
No word on Juju.
Then I'm going to pick Juju in third.
Okay.
It's funny.
He's
like
training and
all
stuff.
you do is bash on me for not knowing stuff, and then I ask you like
if
a
it's
jerk.
out, if it's out there in public and Twitter and everything.
I mean, I figured it was. I figured somebody had said something about him.
You would know if you didn't have a droid.
Let's go Juju, Davies, Deegan for 250.
So you just basically flopped his. So
yeah,
cool.
All right. MotoXpod@gmail.com. Send us your picks. Send us your top fives. Send us whatever you want. Emails. Light us up. Fill up our inbox. Hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube. And yeah, we'll be back next week. I want to thank Justin Hill and RJ Hampshire. And I want to thank our presenting sponsors, Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA, as well as X Brand, Evans Coolant, Guts Racing, T-Boat USA, Barnett Clutches, ETS Racing Fuels, FXR, and Pro X. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back next week. Don't know who's going to be on the show yet. We'll figure it out.